This is the 8th installment in our series of videos on English stress and intonation. If you haven't already listened to previous videos, pictures A through G, I would recommend you practice those first before starting this exercise. By emphasizing the important content words when speaking, and practicing linking sounds together, you can learn to understand English at normal speed. This is another picture in our story about one person's early morning routine.
John took his pajamas off and dropped them on the floor. Here he is standing in front of his wardrobe, looking in the mirror and putting on his uniform.
The sentences are natural English. The only difference is that I have emphasized the rhythm to show where the stress occurs in English speech. Okay, let's begin.
Putting on his uniform. Putting on his uniform. Putting on his uniform.
In this phrase, putting and uniform are clearly stressed. The words on and his are unstressed, spoken lightly and quickly. Remember that it's not necessary to hear every word in a conversation. The stress and intonation gives us the general meaning. As I've mentioned in previous videos, the adjective his is usually unstressed and pronounced without the H sound. So we have this linking. Putting on his uniform, on his uniform, on his uniform, putting on his uniform. Now let's add another piece to our picture story.
Looking in the mirror and putting on his uniform. Looking in the mirror and putting on his uniform. Looking in the mirror and putting on his uniform.
The emphasized words are looking and mirror. Remember that long words are stressed on only one syllable. Putting, uniform, looking, mirror. The unstressed words or syllables are in and the. A-N-D, and is nearly always quickly pronounced with no D sound. Now try saying both phrases while keeping the regular stress in your voice. Looking in the mirror and putting on his uniform. Let's keep going and add another piece to our story.
He is standing in front of his wardrobe, looking in the mirror and putting on his uniform. He is standing in front of his wardrobe, looking in the mirror and putting on his uniform. He's standing in front of his wardrobe, looking in the mirror and putting on his uniform.
The important content words are standing, front, and wardrobe. The unstressed words are he's, in, of, and his. These words are linked together. He's standing, he's standing, he's standing. Emphasize the E of he's. This makes the S of standing sound like Z, S. He's standing. Other linkings are standing in, standing in, standing in. Front of his, front of his, front of his wardrobe. Don't forget that OF is pronounced of with a V, not an F sound, and his is unstressed, so the H is completely silent. Now let's add one word, which helps to explain why he's is unstressed so as not to break the rhythm of the sentence. Here he is standing in front of his wardrobe, looking in the mirror and putting on his uniform. Now we can add our final sentence to finish this picture.
John took his pajamas off and dropped them on the floor. Here he is standing in front of his wardrobe, looking in the mirror and putting on his uniform. John took his pajamas off and dropped them on the floor. Here he is standing in front of his wardrobe, looking in the mirror and putting on his uniform. John took his pajamas off and dropped them on the floor. Here he is standing in front of his wardrobe, looking in the mirror and putting on his uniform.
The important content words are took, pajamas, dropped, and floor. The unstressed words are John, his, off, and them, and on the. For linking of unstressed words, remember that and is pronounced with no D sound. And them is pronounced with no TH. And as we saw before, his has no H sound. By dropping the consonants D, H, and TH, these lightly pronounced words can be linked easily with other words around them. Took his pajamas off. Pajamas often dropped. Dropped them on the floor.
John took his pajamas off and dropped them on the floor. Here he is standing in front of his wardrobe, looking in the mirror and putting on his uniform.
There are 12 stressed and 25 unstressed words or syllables in these two sentences. When only half the words are needed to understand a conversation, it's extremely important to practice this stress and intonation technique to improve your speaking and listening skills. The purpose of all this, of course, is to help you speak naturally, the same way you might read a story aloud. Now, listen to the story from pictures A through H of John's early morning routine.
It's early Monday morning, and John's asleep in his bedroom. Out the window, we can see the sun and a bird. The sun is rising above the mountains. The bird is singing. With tests coming up, John didn't get to bed till after 12 the night before. Oh, the alarm clock's ringing. Shut that stupid thing off. Let me sleep just 5 more minutes. This bed feels so nice and warm and comfortable. Get up! It's 7 o'clock, his mother shouts. You'll be late for school. John awakens with a start. Oh, how I hate to get up in the morning, John says as he rubs his eyes and stretches his arms. Now where are my slippers? John is heading for the bathroom. There's a toilet on the left and a sink on the right. In the bathroom now, he is washing his face with a cold wet cloth. That always helps to wake him up fast. John took his pajamas off and dropped them on the floor. Here he is standing in front of his wardrobe, looking in the mirror and putting on his uniform.
Now, go on to the next picture, picture I, of our story. There are 12 parts in all. For more linking and grammar exercises, you can check out other videos at my channel, The Colors of English, between quotation marks. Thank you for watching and listening.